Okay, let's try this last question. What are we going to do here? It says the sine of 76 degrees is equal to x and the cosine of 76 degrees is equal to y. Well, then let's just get started. I guess we should put sine 76 in there and go sine squared. And that would give us minus cos squared. And gee, that almost is an identity on the sheet. The identity on the sheet is switched around. It says cos squared minus sine squared. So that's what we do. We change it to minus cos squared minus sine squared. And now it'll work. The cosine squared of an angle minus the sine squared of the same angle is the cosine of twice the angle. That's what the formula on the formula sheet says. So this whole thing is just minus the cosine of 152 degrees. But hang on. The cosine of 152 degrees is equal to the cosine of 28 degrees because that's its reference angle. And that's it. It must be the negative of the cosine of 28 degrees. And these two negatives make a positive, so it's really the cosine of 28 degrees. But doesn't cofunctions say that the cosine of an angle is the sine of 90 minus an angle, which is the sine of 62 degrees? I just showed that this was true. Now we're supposed to prove this identity. Well, we're kind of locked into tan x. We know that tan x must be sine x over cos x. We've got 3 to choose from here, but if we pick the one that's 1 minus 2 sine squared, we'll go 1 minus 1, and the 1's will disappear. And you'll just have 2 sine squared. But then, hang on, won't that sine x, one of them, cancel with this sine x here? We're going to end up with 2 sine x cos x, and that's an identity. It equals the sine of 2x, which is equal to the right-hand side. So we prove the identity. There's the first 9 marks. Now it says, hence, evaluate. What's the tangent of 22.5 degrees without using a calculator? Well, how could you do that? Well, let's put 22.5 degrees in there and see what happens. That would be the cosine of 45 degrees. That would be the tan of 22.5. And this is the sine of 2 times 22.5. These would turn into cos 45 and sine 45. But then, if we divide by the sine of 45 and multiply by the tan of 22.5, we get what it equals. It equals this. But hang on, isn't cos 45 and sine 45, isn't that just a special triangle? Isn't it just 1 over root 2? I think it is. So let's replace the cos of 45 and the sine of 45 with 1 over root 2. Now multiply the bottom by root 2. It cancels. You just get 1. Root 2 times 1 will give me root 2. And root 2 times 1 over root 2 is just 1. So it looks like our final answer is just root 2 minus 1. It may be a little bit like 0.4 something, but that is your answer. And we left it in simplified surd form. Well, that was a bit tricky. Maybe this was a bit tricky too, actually. The proving of the identity wasn't such a real hard one, so I hope you got some marks there. But there you go, question 5, all done.